Elizabeth Vineland, who has been with us for several years. She, along with her leadership team, have guided us through this new world that we've all experienced since COVID. She's also going to be accompanied by Danica Ravella, who is our clinical director, so a key part of the operation. Now, Liz had a little incident, and she's struggling to ambulate a little bit, so she's going to work from down below, if you don't mind. So, Liz, we're ready for you, and Danica.
I think it was because you didn't think I could make it up and down in my time limit, right?
That's true.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So thank you everybody who decided to talk their seats and I asked you nicely so I could sit down. I really appreciate that. But it's lovely to see everybody again here tonight. There's so many familiar faces. I love seeing everybody come back. Cumberland County has an amazing community. And that's really what tonight's about, is community and the impact that you can make. Just your presence, your support. So thank you for standing with us as a mental health agency. Thank you for standing with us and our support for those residents of Cumberland County and Southern New Jersey. I would like to thank somebody other than Mr. Scarpa, who is many I would love to thank our staff at tables 21 and 22. If you can please stand. These individuals tonight are not only immensely dedicated to the mission of the agency. The individuals here tonight are years of service, recognize, as well as our employees of the month. So we have the best of the best of the best with us tonight. So I am so grateful for you for being here and for pouring your heart into what you do every single day to make sure that our individuals served in our communities are better, stronger, happier, and healthier. So thank you, sincerely. John Scarpa for his amazing history of dedication to supporting community. John, you were truly an inspiration for the transformational impact you have made on this community and so many others. It was such an honor to be able to spend some time to talk to you about our agency, our mission, and what we do the other day. So I'm so grateful for the time that you've given us and for this ability. You make it clear how significant the impact of one person can have on the community. So I invite everybody to make an impact. It's not just your donations that make an impact. It's your presence that makes an impact. It's your support. It's your acts of grace towards others. And it's your understanding for mental health and for those who we serve and for your neighbors. So with that, I'd like to introduce Danica Ravella, who is our Clinical Operations Officer. She's our creative problem solver who landed me a podium down here at the bottom. And my balance is not wonderful. But Danica is the brains behind our clinical services to make sure that everything runs smoothly and that we have the best possible services and interventions in place for our community members. Please join me in welcoming Danica.
Our agency exists because behind every statistic, behind every diagnosis, there is a human being. A person with hopes, with struggles, with resilience, and with the right support and opportunity to heal and thrive. Maya Angelou once said, "People forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. That is the heart of the work we do. Every day, our staff members strive to create a space where individuals feel valued, supported, and understood. It isn't just about providing services, it's about restoring dignity, building trust, and reminding individuals that they are not alone in this journey. In the past year, our organization has served over 4,000 individuals with mental health challenges. I'd like to take a moment to share a little bit about the clients we have served. David is a 23-year-old young man who came to our crisis services department. He interacted with them for 12 times while he was experiencing his first psychiatric episode of psychosis. Not only did he not understand what was happening to him, but he was going through a lot of other challenges as well. With the assistance and dedication of our crisis program, we were able to link him to the necessary treatment programs, and I'm happy to share that since these linkages occurred, he has not had any further contact with the crisis department. Next, I'd like to share about Carla. Carla was living with her family in an unhealthy environment where drugs were prevalent and the family was on the verge of eviction. Carla was struggling with depression and anxiety and was worried day to day about her future. Our CSS program assisted Carla in finding a safer, more stable housing. During this time, Carla also obtained full-time employment. In addition to receiving services with our CSS program, Carla also receives medication management services to ensure that she works on her symptoms on an outpatient basis. And last but not least, I'd like to introduce Donald. Donald was hospitalized twice for depression, and during his last hospitalization, he became homeless. Donald had nowhere to go, no social supports, and was not familiar with navigating the system or any available resources. The PATH program ensured a warm handoff from the hospital and assisted Donald by linking him to a shelter for temporary placement. We continue to advocate for Donald while looking for resources that are suitable to his needs. These are just a few examples of the individuals we have assisted. I could stand here all night and share stories of thousands of other clients, their challenges, systemic barriers, and outcomes, whether positive or negative. The services we provide, whether counseling, crisis intervention, or long-term supports, are not just about treatment. They are also about instilling hope, restoring dignity, and ensuring that individuals and families have the tools they need to not only survive, but to thrive. None of this work we do would be possible without the collective efforts of our community. Your presence here this evening reflects your recognition that behavioral health is a cornerstone of a strong, resilient community. By supporting our agency, you are investing not only in our services, but in people, neighbors, colleagues, friends, and family members who deserve the opportunity to live fulfilling and meaningful lives. As we move forward tonight, I invite you to consider the profound impact your contributions can make. Together, we can expand access to care, strengthen our programs, and ensure that no one has to face their struggles alone. On behalf of our staff, our board, and the many individuals and families we serve, thank you for your partnership, your generosity, and your commitment to this important work. With your support, we will continue to make lasting changes, one individual, one family, and one community at a time, to ensure that everyone feels seen, heard, and cared for.
Thank you, Danica. Thank you, Liz. They do great work every day. And one of the struggles as board members, because of the confidentiality of people receiving mental health services, we rarely see the people that we serve. We hear the stories, but if for those of you who are familiar with the Guidance Center's campus, it's on Carmel Road in Millville. It's off the road, quiet, very serene, wooded, looks like a mini college campus, and we like it that way. The downside is nobody knows we're there, right? So events like this help to bring attention to the fact that we're there and we're there to serve. So thank you very much to the team. I did want to mention, though, that we deal with very serious business every day. So humor sometimes is our relief valve. So after the recent baseball debacle in Philadelphia, we suggested as a board that we start a Phillies traumatic stress disorder program. Unica and Liz are not having it.
They are sympathetic, right?
So our next presenters, which I'll call up in a few minutes, embody the SCARPA formula. I was sitting around the table one day, many years ago, with Jim Gruccio and Larry Pepper, and we started talking about John and what made him so successful. And that discussion bled into some other clients of the firm that had also really accomplished amazing things, without advanced degrees, without professional degrees, and we wanted to know what those common elements were. And I'll summarize it. It was a long time ago, but we recognized that every single one of them had talent, but a diverse range of talents. Some, intellectual, some interpersonal, but they all were talented. Each one of them had a positive vision, and certainly John is emblematic of a positive vision, seeing the future and seeing it in a positive way. And how can you take advantage of that future? And the last was a term that didn't exist back then. I'll call it grit. They had perseverance. They got knocked down, they got right back up. Then, put it behind you. The next day is the next day. And John, is a perfect example of that, which I'll call the SCARPA formula for success. It's no accident that John chose these two individuals tonight to speak on his behalf. The first one is Senator Michael Testa, and I want to mention that during dinner, there were at least 20 people that came up and said, "You forgot to mention Senator Testa." I said, well, the mic cut out, but it shows you just how popular Senator Testa is, that so many people felt that that needed to be done. And Paul Spinelli is here, the president of City Council. Where's Paul? Raise your hand, Paul. 2 people mentioned you, Paul, so you're number 2. So Senator Testa's talent is obvious to everyone who meets him and hears him speak. He's a compelling speaker and a compelling personality. He has had a positive vision to transform our region into the very best our state has to offer. And he has had the grit to turn that vision into reality. And in so doing, he and his team have become a political powerhouse locally, within the state, and every once in a while you turn on the TV and there's Senator Testa nationally. So he has become a truly transformational leader in the model of John Scarpa. And I'd like Senator Testa to come up and say a few words, please.
Ed, thank you so very much. I'm going to be hiring you to do all of my introductory speeches, I promise you on that. You look at this picture of John Scarpa, the distinguished community leader. Quite frankly, I think we need, and this is no offense to any of the past recipients, we need to come up with a different title for this award for everybody else, because John is such a unique individual, and I've had the pleasure of knowing him for, at least since my freshman year at Villanova when we really got to know each other, but he actually met me in his garage. It's a true story, folks. Well, what you see here today in this ultra-successful, ultra-philanthropic, great man is someone who built his empire from the ground up. John, you may not even remember this. I met you in your garage when you were installing a cell phone in my father's car It was a 1976 Mercedes 450 SEL, and I think the year was 1979. And by the way, you had the cleanest, most beautiful garage I had seen in my young life at that point in time. So think about that, folks. You heard the word vision. I've heard John receive many awards. This is just another award that he's going to have on his mantle, but I look around and I would be willing to bet this is at the top tier. John is truly a visionary. He's a mentor, and more importantly, he's a friend. He's someone that I can call and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? And for those that know John, he always has an opinion, and usually a very strong one. But it's deserved, because he's experienced pretty much everything each and every one of us in this room could hope to experience on the ladder of success. And I'm not calling anybody out here tonight, but Donna asked me to make this a little bit of a roast, like I did for Chairman Larry Pepper, another individual that I wanted to follow in their footsteps. I don't think it's by accident. I think it's pretty serendipitous that they're seated at tables next to each other. No offense, Larry, I'd rather have John's bank account. But you think about John Scarpa, and he's not an easy guy to even come up with a negative thing to say about in a roast. And you know, I'm a huge fan of comedy, and I used to watch Don Rickles do those amazing roasts. And they were scathing. And, you know, I called John and I said, listen, they kind of want me to roast you. And he said, don't. And John, I just want to be clear, I'm not going to, and I want to make it very clear, the checks are made payable to Michael Testa Jr. Okay? Jr. But when you think about someone who has been so very generous and to institutions that I hold very near and dear to my heart, and I can't take any credit, and I mean that, he met Father George Riley on a plane ride. See, John, I listen to you. You do a lot of talking, but I swear to you, I listen. He met Father George Riley of Villanova University on a plane ride, and somehow Father Riley, who I had the pleasure of knowing, and he was my father's dorm counsel, I believe in 1967 or 68. He's a very convincing man. And somehow he was able to convince John Scarpa to donate lots of money to Villanova University, and he gladly did it. Now, here's an individual that not only donated to Villanova University, but donated to my alma mater of law school, the Villanova Law School. And originally it was the Catholic Law Chair. And then it became the John F. Scarpa School of Law and Entrepreneurism. Think about that, folks. He didn't attend Villanova, he didn't attend Villanova Law, and yet he was so generous. And I know a lot of esteemed graduates of Villanova. I know a few esteemed graduates of Villanova School of Law, but nobody embodies the Unitas, Veritas, and Caritas, the Augustinian principles emblazoned on our emblem, more than John Scarpa. You know, John, you and I have had the opportunity to play tennis together, we've played golf together, we've talked politics together, we've talked business together. Each and every conversation has left an indelible mark on my life. So now comes a little bit of the roast. I had to think of the worst thing you could possibly say about John Scarpa. The worst thing you could possibly say about John Scarpa is he likes to see his names on buildings. That's the worst thing. And I saw Tommy Marighi floating around here today, and you know, you look at the sign outside and it says Marighi's Savoy Inn. I want to let everybody know by next week, this is the John F. Scarpa Savoy Inn. And you know, as the state senator, I have the pleasure of traveling the state of New Jersey quite a bit. And every time I drive by a new building, there's his name. I pull into Atlantic City, on Stockton, John F. Scarpa. I go visit my alma mater, John F. Scarpa. So John, I was told that when I got involved in politics, and Larry, I'm sure you can attest to this, the reason that we have such drive in politics is that we weren't hugged enough as a child. John, we obviously weren't hugged enough as children. That's quite obvious, because you like your name on everything, and that's a beautiful thing. But what does that mean, folks? That comes with a lot of generosity. And what's beautiful about John is this. It's easy for someone as successful as John to write a check. He stays involved. Everyone that I've spoken to, and this is remarkable, he stays involved. Whether it's with Stockton, and I would talk to Dr. Kesselman, he would say he stays involved and he calls me with ideas. With the Cumberland County Technical School, he stays involved. Lord knows with Villanova and the Villanova University School of Law, he stays involved. And that's what's remarkable about him. He could easily go into retirement, enjoy all of the riches that he's attained, and that is the American dream, and in his case, it's the Italian-American dream, and he's done so much for so many of us in this room. I'll bet you there isn't a person in this room that John Scarpa hasn't touched directly or indirectly, and most of us, it's directly. And it's just remarkable the umbrella that he has formed over so many of us, whether it's at Inspira, I'm looking at you, Amy, and I saw all of the testimonials that in the book, and they're heartfelt. You know, look, I get to read a lot of testimonials from people, and you can tell that they don't really know the person that they're talking about. Go read those testimonials. I encourage everyone to read that book. And Donna Bertoli, I understand, is the one who assembled this book tonight. I got to tell you, Donna, you did a fantastic job, and everybody here has done a fantastic job to have such a wonderful evening put together. But those testimonials are from people that really know the real John, not the one that's in a picture somewhere. And I don't know if I'm supposed to give this to you from up here. I'll probably just walk it down to you, John, because there's other people who are speaking. But, you know, you've left a lasting impact on so many, but this is personal to me. You know, I'm looking at you, and I'm so proud that you're from Vineland. You know, people say that Anthony Fanucci is Vineland's favorite son. Some would argue that I'm Vineland's favorite son. Some would argue that my grandfather is Vineland's favorite son. That's nonsense. John, you're Vineland's favorite son. And you've expanded that footprint so far beyond the confines of Vineland, Cumberland County, or the state of New Jersey. We are all so extremely proud of you. So to call you a distinguished community leader is an understatement. I can tell you this, you know, I've known you for a lot of years. Folks, there's a funny story about John and I when I was at Villanova. He came to pick me up on campus to take me to dinner, my sophomore year of college. I was doing pretty well playing for the varsity tennis team, and my friend said, "What the heck is going on here? Some guy just randomly came by your dorm and picked you up for dinner? What happened?" I don't know if you remember that, John, or not, but it was just a great night. He showed an interest in me as a 19 or 20-year-old kid. And I have to think, John, you left a lasting impact, and I just hope that you're proud of the trajectory that I've taken since I was 20 years old. But I can tell you this much, the community owes so much to you, and I'd like to present you with this. it's pretty much the highest honor that myself, Assemblyman Simonson, and Assemblyman McClellan can give to you. I'm not going to ask you to come up here because unless Mr. Feldman's saying I better. Are you saying I better? I'll just go to the table. But I'm going to come to the table and give this to you, John. You are, in fact, Vineland's favorite son. You've done so much for so many. God bless you. We all love you. We're supposed to look in the TV cameras.
What's the honor?
God bless you, John. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Testa. I'm going to introduce a past honoree in a second, but thank you, future honoree Michael Testa Jr. Hey, listen, Pepper got Scarpa, so you're up next, man. So great comments, thank you very much. To continue the theme, our former honoree from a couple of years ago, Anthony Finucci, follows the Scarpa formula. So when Anthony became mayor of Vineland, he's a business person, and we all talk about what if government was run like a business, right? And then you get into office and you find out it's not as easy as they say, right? But Mayor Finucci has found a way. He's used the Scarpa formula, talent, vision, and grit to turn the city of Vineland into the de facto capital of South Jersey. And we're witnessing it today, the transformation of the city of Vineland into the hub of a whole region. And Anthony has a lot to do with that. I think people will look back on this era and talk about it for years to come. So I want to welcome Vineland's transformational mayor, Anthony Finucci.
So normally to get started, I like to have a little bit of humor added into my speeches. So if you noticed, the senator ended up with this beautiful proclamation and a beautiful frame. State budget's way better than the municipal budget. Ours is pretty, but not that beautiful. And he finished off making sure that he gave you all the compliments, but brother, I think the check's gonna be a little bit smaller after the roast. And for the record, if you need a hug, I'll always give you a big bear hug, John. So I don't usually prepare remarks except maybe once a year for the State of the City address, or unless something is extremely important. This was one that I really had to put things on paper. A, I had to stay on topic and didn't want to be too long on time, but certainly didn't want to make a mistake and miss anything as it matters so much to Stacy, myself, and our family, John. Ladies and gentlemen and honored guests, esteemed members of our community, on behalf of my wife Stacy and myself, it is a true honor and privilege to stand here today and recognize our lifelong family friend, Mr. John Scarpa. Upon his receiving of this award today from the Guidance Center, and you're right, Michael, I don't know, distinguished community leader, even though I got this award, which I hold very near and dear to my heart, you're right. I think the renaming should begin after tonight. Or at least for this one, and then everybody else can have the same award I've got. After that, John, that's it. As a businessman, John stood out as an innovative leader in communications, helping to shape cable television and cellular industries through his roles at American Cellular Network Corporation, Unitel Wireless Systems, and as a founding member of the Cellular One Network. Thanks to his tenacity and forward thinking, countless individuals and companies across our region have gained access to greater connectivity and an opportunity in transforming the way of their life, how they live, work, and communicate. John's influence did not stop there. In the cable sector, he was instrumental in establishing and strengthening regional associations, fostering partnerships and collaboration, and that have driven long-lasting progress in the broadcast media. His commitment to innovation set new standards and inspired others to aim higher, always striving for excellence. Beyond business, John's generosity throughout the John F. Scarper Foundation has helped many in education, healthcare, and families in need. His commitment to meaningful causes is evident through his ongoing support for cancer research centers, the development of educational facilities, and academic programs at institutions such as Inspira Health Network, my alma mater, St. Augustine Preparatory School, Villanova University, and Stockton. His philanthropic efforts are matched only by his humility. John has received numerous accolades throughout his career, including honorary doctorates and awards such as the Ellis Island Medal of Honor. Excellent. The Community Foundation of South Jersey Legacy of Giving Award. These honors speak to the enormous respect he commands both as a leader and as a compassionate human being. Today, with the presentation of the Cumberland County Guidance Center, the Distinguished Community Leader Award, we add yet another prestigious award in recognition to his remarkable list of achievements. John, you're doing so well, the East Vineland Fire Department's sounding for you right now. If we get a flyover, I'm not taking credit for that. Michael can have credit for that. What stands out most, however, is John's enduring commitment to public service. His actions remind us that true leaders are not just among us, but they are the most important part of the success of business and or industry. But John using one's resources and talents and influence to uplift others, as always. John's legacy of vision, generosity, and civic responsibility continues to inspire all of us to do more, to reach higher, and to serve both with heart and with purpose. Stacy and I and everyone here tonight, John, extend our sincere congratulations to you on this well-earned recognition. Thank you for your tireless dedication, your generosity, and your unwavering support for Cumberland County and communities far and beyond its borders. We are grateful for you, all you have done, and all you continue to do to make our world a better place. The impact of your leadership and kindness will be felt for generations to come. God bless you. All right, John, you get the remarks and the turn around, do this for that. One more shot. That's the handsome slimming knife.
Thank you, Mayor Finucci. A couple of years ago, when Mayor Finucci was honored, we did roast him a little bit. I participated in that, and I have gotten a ticket every single time I've come to the city of Vineland. Do you know how hard it is to get the Bridgeton to here without going through Vineland?
I know a good lawyer.
So he finally let me off the mat. I think we're okay, although I read on Facebook that the city of Vineland annexed the Savoy. That's part of the city of Vineland, and Senator Testa got it approved in 24 hours. So now the Scarpa Savoy can be in the city of Vineland. So in preparing for this night, I learned a lot of things about John, but the most important thing I learned is that he is all about his family and his friends. It is really remarkable, the diversity of his friends, from presidents, senators, captains of industries, to just the local boys back home. And it's truly remarkable. And his family, extended family, as many of them are here tonight. I know Janet can't be here, and she's been a tremendous part of his philanthropic efforts. So we miss her tonight. Tonight we have John's daughters, Sherry Lance and Danielle Harrington, who have promised not to roast you too hard, John. So I'm going to invite them up, Sherry and Danielle.
Good evening, everyone. Well, this is fun to look out to everybody. Boy, they're all here for you, Dad. This is pretty special. It is a privilege to join. Can you hear?
I'm going to put it a little closer to you, Sherry.
Thank you.
There you go.
It is a privilege to join with you tonight in honoring our dad, John F. Scarborough, the recipient of the Mental Health Distinguished Community Leader Award. We could not have asked for a better father, one who has always been our greatest supporter, our protector, and our example of what hard work, generosity, and the heart look like. Growing up with our dad, we learned quickly that he just didn't negotiate business deals. He negotiated bedtime, chores, and curfews. He was always calm, persuasive, and somehow made you think taking out the trash was your idea. Dad is undisputed vote of let's make a deal. Still to this day, Danielle and I roll our eyes when Dad starts with, let's make a deal. Whether it's buying a car, donating to a cause, or negotiating which restaurant we're going to, somehow Dad always walks away with the better end of the deal. And a bonus prize. If he were ever on The Real Show, he'd probably talk Monty Hall into giving him the car, the trip, and ownership rights to the show. Our father has received honorary doctorates from prestigious universities. But let me tell you, in our house, he also gave out honorary lectures daily. Back to the community that gave him so much. Here in South Jersey, his generosity has a profound impact. He donated and helped create the Frank and Edith Scarpa Regional Cancer Pavilion at Inspira Medical Center in Vineland, ensuring families facing one of life's hardest battles can find the care and support they need close to home. While his roots run deep here in South Jersey, his leadership extends far beyond. He co-founded and led companies that shaped the cable and cellular industries, was one of the original members of the nationwide Cellular One network, and played a key role in establishing both the New Jersey and the Northeast Cable TV Associations. His career has always been about innovation and connecting people, but his philanthropy has always been about compassion and lifting people up. He also lends his leadership to organizations across the country, serving on the boards of the Town of Palm Beach United Way, the Civic Association of Palm Beach, the Palm Beach Police Foundation, and NECO, the National Ethic Coalition organization in New York City. He has been honored by universities and institutions alike, but if you ask him, I think he would say that the work he's most proud of is the work that makes life better right here in South Jersey. And on that note, I'll hand things over to my sister Danielle, who will share a bit more about what it's been like to grow up with a father who truly lives by those values. Sherry and I could not be more proud of our father. It's important to note that our dad doesn't just talk about giving back, he lives it. He made sure to teach us and his grandchildren that helping others isn't something you do once in a while. It's a way of life, and it starts with the passion in your heart. Through the John F. Scarpa Foundation, he continues to make a lasting difference by supporting education, health care, and disadvantaged families. His commitment to his roots is prevalent at the John F. Scarpa Technical Education Center and the Edith Favretto Arts and Science Building at St. Augustine Preparatory School. Most recently, Dad was excited and proud to make a major commitment to Stockton University. To quote him, he said, I grew up in South Jersey and started my career here. I watched Stockton College grow to become Stockton University, an institution providing students the best academic opportunities available without leaving this great part of New Jersey. Socrates said, "Education is the kindling of the flame." I hope to light the way to enable students to realize their dreams. End quote. And while he's igniting the flame of education and opportunity for so many, let's just say he's still trying to find the spark in his golf swing. We've all learned that patience is truly a virtue, especially when you're waiting for Dad to finish a hole. So tonight, I stand before you not only as his daughter, but as someone who has witnessed firsthand the countless ways he has touched lives through his leadership, compassion, and yes, even through his endless dad lectures. Let's hope he keeps his acceptance speech shorter than one of his life lessons or one of his golf games. Dad, congratulations.
Thank you, Sherry and Danielle. Our next presenter is the last person to win this award, who we really did roast heavily. And I joined the Gruccio Pepper firm as a law clerk in 1983, I think, 82 or 83. And then worked there for about 20 years. And I used to hear these stories about John. And so, you know, Larry Pepper, who's going to introduce John, has been a friend of John's for his entire life, his trusted counselor, and has helped him with innumerable legal matters. But what people don't know is that Larry, and to some extent Jim Gruccio too, are really responsible for John's financial success. So you want to know how that happened. So John decided to get into this little thing called the cable business. And Jim Gruccio said, "Why would people pay for something you get for free?" So John took that advice and did the opposite. And then John decided to get into something you may have heard of called the cellular telephone business. And Larry said, "Who wants to talk in the car? I want to listen to talk radio." And John did the opposite. So now, whatever Larry says he should invest in, John does the opposite and makes a lot of money. So John and I had a chance to visit at the Guidance Center, and it was an amazing visit. He was very interested in the operation. He had a lot of advice, Sherry and Danielle, so all great advice. But he left behind a little portfolio of recommendations from Larry Pepper for investments. So I stole it, and I'm going to read it to you. On the technology front, Larry recommended fax machines, digital cameras, and DVD players. In medical, he said invest in national pharmacy chains. You can't go wrong. And in education, Larry's always looking for a good secretary. Stenography schools. Go heavy in the stenography schools. But if you're going to be a visionary entrepreneur and you're going to be a transformational philanthropist, it's really important to have a good lawyer. And Larry's a great lawyer and a great friend. I want to call up Larry to introduce him.
I've given that advice so well, that's why John's successful. You know, I think of John, at least twice every month. The day I get my cable television bill and the day I get my cellular telephone bill. That cable bill, that back then was supposed to be $8.50 a month and no cost for the antenna because it was in cable, is now $318 a month with more commercials than there are television programs. Yes, you might say that John's success has truly been the American dream. Well, the bills that I get have become the pepper nightmare. So much has been said tonight, there's little for me to say, because the magnitude of John's success is truly exceptional and extraordinary. There's just no question about that. I'm not going to be repetitious and go through all of it because we know so much about John. But he's been extraordinary in his success as a business person. As was mentioned before, also, John's roots are planted deep in the soil of Vineland, where he grew up in an Italian-American family. And that close-knit Italian-American family stays together now. They're here tonight, the Scarpa family, en masse. John also made many friends in Vineland. We're hearing about that tonight. There's so many people, and all of you in the room tonight have some association with John. That's why you're here. John is truly an exceptional person who, when you meet John, you gotta like him. He just is that type of warm person who has an exceptional ability to make you feel comfortable in his presence. Of course, now, as the years have passed, John's circle of friends has expanded a bit. It also includes the rich and famous in Palm Beach. Lynn and I periodically visit with John and Jana down in Florida, and we go out to dinner. Well, last year we went out to dinner to one of John's favorite restaurants in Palm Beach. It's called La Serena, an excellent Italian restaurant. Very good. And we walked in, we went to the bar and had glasses of wine. Well, I had a glass of wine. The man next to me, John introduced me to, his name was Mario Gabelli. And I don't know if you know his name, if you've ever heard of his name, but if you watch the CNBC program Squawk Box, he is a regular on Squawk Box. He has the Gabelli Fund. He's a billionaire. He has billions of dollars in his fund. So we're there and he says, well, Larry, what do you do? Are you in communications too? I said, no, I'm a lawyer. Well, he turned his head and didn't speak to me for the rest of the evening. Better than a restaurant in Palm Beach is if you can wiggle an invitation to the Scarpa house where Jana will cook dinner. She's a great cook, and we love being invited to the Scarpa house for dinner. There's nothing better than that. It's better than any four-star restaurant in Palm Beach, I can guarantee you. But to get to Palm Beach and to be successful as John has been requires a lot of passion and commitment and dedication and work. It just didn't happen. To be successful requires attention, work, and dedication. There's no exact formula for the business of an entrepreneur, but it all starts with an idea. And it's making that idea become a business and an enterprise that ultimately results in the success. And that just does not happen. I can remember back years ago when I first got associated actually with the Guccio Pepper law firm. I walked in and in the library there were these big books. Garden State TV Cable Corporation, right, John? And what was done there was that John went from town council to town council, city council to city council, city council to city council, to get franchises in order to operate a cable television system in a community. That's how the cable television business got started. And it just did not happen. It had to go to those monthly meetings and deal with city council people. That's how it got created. Turning an idea into success requires years of dedication, hard work, commitment, and careful planning. There are many struggles along the way. We're all very comfortable now as we sit back and switch the dials and change the channels on the cable TV systems. But it took John's hard work to make that happen. What's different about John also is not only was he successful in business, but more important than his business success and his reputation for his business success is his character. John, it's rare to find someone with both the sharp business mind and the genuine humanitarian spirit of John Scarpa. Having achieved business success, John wanted to share his success with others, hoping to make life better for others in the community. John's extraordinary generosity has impacted people's lives. With the resources at his disposal, John has created, as you've heard, the John F. Scarpa Foundation. He is the greatest example of a community leader taking what you have and using it to change lives. John just doesn't talk about making things different. He has a proven track record of doing it. His work with Inspira Health is a testament of his commitment to improve the public good. Seeing firsthand John's support of the Scarpa Cancer Center has transformed the lives of countless people in our community, enabling them to be cared for and treated here in Vineland, rather than have to travel over the bridge into Philadelphia for care. Healthcare, because of its great importance to each and every family, has been one of John's principal focuses. Also, education has been a principal beneficiary of John's generosity locally. His support of St. Augustine Preparatory School, St. Mary's School, John F. Scarpa Technical Education Center, Stockton University, and I guess we will almost borrow Villanova because it's so close to Villanova University, has really benefited a lot of people from this area. John has been recognized by many places and bodies, both private and public, as an outstanding person in the telecommunications industry and as an outstanding citizen for his commitment to the public good. Yes, John is always looking for a way to help people who are a bit less fortunate. John is known as a successful business leader and entrepreneur, community leader and philanthropist. The title that best describes my relationship with John Scarpa is the words lifelong friend. A friend is someone who does not say no when asked for help. John's friendship is a gift that offers unwavering support that one can always count on. Having a friend like John is having a little extra in your life. No matter what, John brings that little extra to any issue, any problem, any question, any needed advice. John is on every list as a person to be recognized and honored. And why not? John's name creates a successful event. Just look at this room tonight. When choosing a person to honor was easy for the Guidance Center, choose John Scarpa. The question was, how could the Guidance Center get him to accept the honor? Because on many, many occasions, John is asked to be honored, and he turns it down because, in a way, he knows he's being used a bit, used by the institution to get some help. Well, everyone looked at me, so I volunteered to ask John Scarpa. Being his friend, I thought I might have a chance. And I approached John, and he knew of my over 50 years of interest in mental health. It's one thing that's been very important to me. Having been on the board now in Spirit at the Guidance Center for 53 years, I know how important mental health is to everyone in the community. There's not a family that one way or the other has not been impacted by a mental health issue. So I asked John. I'm happy I did, because he said yes. I got John to say yes. So to John Scarborough, I'm happy you said yes, because I got a chance to speak about you and tell everyone how much I think of you. Thank you for the way you have demonstrated your leadership in this community, and I thank you for the countless ways you've enriched our community and our lives. And thank you for being my friend. You are a worthy recipient of the Guidance Center Distinguished Service Award. John.
Oh, yeah.
You guys got to bring up this plaque here.
Wow.
Get in center, John.
Over here.
Mr. Pepper, Mr. Pepper, hand that to me. I'll put it in the rest of the stuff.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. And please remain seated. It's been one hell of an evening and a long time. When I get home, I want to meet this guy, John Scarborough. I got to tell you, because if he's as wealthy as everyone says he is, and if he cares so much about others, he really is one great guy. I apologize for all of the wonderful introductions, and a lot of it with what I wanted to talk to you about tonight has already been said. I hope you can hear me okay.
Yeah.
But all of the thanks and all the accolades that have been given to all of you, by all of you tonight, about all the wonderful people here. I'm so proud to be able to have done that and to work with them, especially learning about the Cumberland County Guidance Center, what it is and what they really do. And I visited the Guidance Center, and the thing that struck me most was that I want to recognize some community leaders who have supported the Guidance Center in very special ways. And here on this PowerPoint with the Cumberland County Guidance Center, we have the Tranquility Trail by Pete and Jane Galetto and the Galetto family. Thank you. We have the Tranquility Pond, dedicated by the Caseman family in honor of Harry Caseman. We have the Tranquility Corner, dedicated by Larry and Susie Moriggi. And then the Hurley Memorial Peace Garden in honor of Jim and Wally Hurley. That didn't follow me as well. You guys should have done it, so we'll talk later. And by the way, I also want to say one more thing. I will remember every one of you in this room tonight, and I thank you, but I also will remember those who are not here this evening as well. But I want to take a few minutes talking about why we are here tonight, why it's so important that we all find a way to support the Cumberland County Guidance Center for their outstanding work every day. I spent hours on how should I approach and what should my comments be tonight, and trying to reach both young and old individuals who deal with mental issues every day. So I'm going to start off with something, and I hope you enjoy, because I know my daughters will remember this, and many of you will remember it. Once upon a time, we lived in the world of our childhood. Dr. Seuss once told us, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself in any direction you choose. It's up to you. So off we went using the brains in our heads, at least I hope we did, and putting our feet together in our shoes to discover all the places we could go and the things we could do. But what happens when the brains in our heads stop connecting with the feet in our shoes? The result is a mental health crisis. It could stem from mental disorder. It could come from anxiety, fear. And in today's world, there's an abundance to be anxious about. There is depression, drug and alcohol addiction, trauma. And it can affect any of us, our youth as well. 1 in 5 young people from ages 12 through 17 experienced at least one major depressive episode in the last year. Yet more than half of them did not receive any mental health treatment, and more than 13% had serious thoughts of suicide. In the U.S., more than 45 million adults, about 18%, and 2.3 million youth, about 1%, are experiencing substance use disorder. Somewhere between 10 to 20% of our visits to our ERs are for mental health issues. High numbers of adults and youth alike are having serious thoughts of suicide. Growing up, I didn't have that problem, and many in this room tonight didn't have that problem, because my mother told me, if you step out of line once again, I'm going to kill you. Thanks, Mom. So there are some very serious hurdles that need to be addressed. The high cost or a shortage of mental health providers. Studies show there are over 300 people experiencing behavioral health challenges for every one mental health provider. And there's a drastic shortage of an ample number of places to administer care. The organization Mental Health America continues to advocate for policy and practice improvements that focus on upstream prevention and early intervention so that all people, as they deserve, have an opportunity to recover and flourish. The Cumberland County Guidance Center has been serving this community for over a half a century. Over half a century. Yet many of us don't really know about them. But they continue to provide compassionate and professional care for individuals and families dealing with mental health needs. Over the last 3 years, they have served over 14,000 individuals dealing with mental health needs. They've served just in the last 3 months over 2,300 individuals. In 2021, they launched a project, a pilot program called Arrive Together. From their success, all 21 counties in New Jersey have this program. It's a mental health screener combined with law enforcement co-responders, a model designed to reduce the use of force while responding to behavior health care calls. And that's a very challenging thing today, as we all know. There's a new residential facility in Vineland, was also awarded funding from the Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services for folks discharged from nursing homes. This is slated to open the end of this year. This expands current residential services for the Guidance Center. Yes, the Cumberland County Guidance Center works every day, along with Inspira Health, on new initiatives to help meet the needs of many. They are doing their best to increase the affordability and availability of mental health care. Recently, I had a friend who was seeing a therapist, communicated to me how much safer and better she was feeling after her sessions. In my own family, while growing up, my aunt was admitted to Ancora State Hospital. My Aunt Millie. It was in the 1960s. And they thought she was crazy. While there, though, they decided she wasn't crazy at all. She was suffering from epilepsy. And with medication, she continued to go on with a very happy life. We have to look at ourselves and realize that we are each vulnerable to these types of challenges. Mental health is every bit as important to our bodies as our physical health. Yet many of us refuse to recognize or admit to mental health challenges. It's a stigma which I've grown up with, seeing a lot of people with it. So I encourage each of you tonight to leave with the thought that we must all focus on our mental health and that of others in our families. In order for the Guidance Center to continue to grow and expand its services throughout South Jersey, the following must take place. And by the way, the people that work there are just incredible human beings, and what they do and who they see and who they work with. They're not very good at business. They're not. They're very good at what they do. God bless them for all of that they do, but they don't know how to become a beggar like I've been my whole life. So in order for the Guidance Center to grow and expand service throughout South Jersey, the following must take place. First, a development professional must be retained that the GC, the Guidance Center can raise the funds needed to not only to continue to operate, because all their money comes from federal and state government, and we know what direction that's going in, but to expand their services. After my visit to the Guidance Center and realizing the wonderful work they do, addressing all of their challenges, I'm prepared tonight to offer $50,000 as a matching grant. Thank you. As a matching grant for 6 months. That means it's up to the directors and the friends of the Guidance Center to raise $50,000 in order to qualify what will become a $100,000 gift. And I want to remind the directors, all of you here tonight, start in this room. Start shaking the trees and the wallets in this room tonight, because there's a lot of people here who want to do that. We are all on this journey called life. Together, we need to do what must be done for those in need. We need to work together to focus on the prevention side of mental distress and the promotion of well-being. So that the brains in their heads communicate with the feet in their shoes and allows them to steer themselves in any direction they choose. Thank you.
Thank you, John. John's laid down a challenge for us, and we'll start. We're going to be lined up in the back of the room. We won't let anybody out of the building. But thank you very much, John. Thank you for your support. When I met with John at the Guidance Center, I was amazed at how much time and effort he spent learning about mental health generally and about the Guidance Center's operations. And much of what you heard today was advice that he gave us about the future. And one thing that John said that really stuck with me is don't look backward, just look forward. There are lots of challenges ahead, and you just have to think about those challenges. So thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Have a safe trip home. And John, thank you very much.
In the heart of the farmlands of Bridgeton, New Jersey, there is a company that has its roots deep in history. Spanning over 175 years, the Cumberland Insurance Group stands strong and proud, protecting the lives and properties of over 100,000 policyholders. Businesses pride themselves for hitting the 50-year mark or the 100-year mark, but the Cumberland Insurance Group shows that a strong business with the mindset of putting its people first can last generations. The groundwork has been laid for the Cumberland Insurance Group to stand tall for another 175 years. With its ever-growing expansions with state-of-the-art technology, Cumberland Insurance will be there to protect its policyholders for years to come. Surviving some of the toughest weather conditions Mother Nature can throw, they are ready to take on the challenges that lie ahead.
Many people treat their health like a game. With the Complete Care Health Network, it's easy to start your healthcare journey. Our mental health services focus on the emotions and behaviors that affect your overall well-being and features psychiatric, counseling, and addiction services, including our exclusive Fresh Start program, designed to help combat the opioid epidemic in our communities, plus all the other specialties you expect from Complete Care. Level up your health with us. The Complete Care Health Network. No games, just great healthcare for everyone.
In the heart of the farmlands of Bridgeton, New Jersey, there is a company that has its roots deep in history. Spanning over 175 years, the Cumberland Insurance Group stands strong and proud, protecting the lives and properties of over 100,000 policyholders. Businesses pride themselves for hitting the 50-year mark or the 100-year mark, but the Cumberland Insurance Group shows that a strong business with the mindset of putting its people first can last generations. The groundwork has been laid for the Cumberland Insurance Group to stand tall for another 175 years. With its ever-growing expansions with state-of-the-art technology, Cumberland Insurance will be there to protect its policyholders for years to come. Surviving some of the toughest weather conditions Mother Nature can throw, they are ready to take on the challenges that lie ahead.
Many people treat their health like a game. With the Complete Care Health Network, it's easy to start your healthcare journey. Our mental health services focus on the emotions and behaviors that affect your overall well-being and features psychiatric, counseling, and addiction services, including our exclusive Fresh Start program, designed to help combat the opioid epidemic in our communities, plus all the other specialties you expect from Complete Care. Level up your health with us. The Complete Care Health Network. No games, just great healthcare for everyone.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.